and we're going to bind them with fetters of iron, meaning we're going to make them our slaves, to execute upon them the judgment written. This honor have all his saints. Again, who are the saints? The children of Israel, the Israelites. Praise ye the Lord, which is us. Now, notice it says the judgment written. Let's read the judgment. The book of Revelation 13 and 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. In other words, listen to what's going to happen to these future nations, Esau included. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. Now, if you go in the history of Israel, our history, you'll find that all the nations led us into captivity. The Babylonians led us into captivity. The Persians and the Medes led us into captivity. The Greeks, the Romans. So this so-called white man is no different. He led us into captivity. And that's what the movie Roots was all about. Mandingo drums, him leading us into captivity. So it says, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. What's another word for captivity? Slavery. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints. This is what we're patiently waiting for. All right? This is our faith. And while we are patiently waiting for it, we're holding on to our what? Our faith. That the ones that led us into captivity will go into captivity. The ones that kill us with the sword, we will kill with the sword. That's the patience and the faith of the saints. All right, now, let's go to the book of Ezekiel, the 39th chapter. Ezekiel, the 39th chapter, and the 12th verse. Now, this is talking about after the nuclear destruction, when you're about to go into the land of Israel. This is after America is totally destroyed. It's 100% desert. This is a future prophecy we're about to read. And 7 months shall the house of Israel be burying of them. That's talking about the dead bodies that's going to be left after that nuclear destruction. And 7 months shall the house of Israel be burying of them, especially down there in the Middle East, which is also known as the Valley of Jehoshaphat. You're going to have a lot of dead bodies down there because that's where World War III is going to start. That they may cleanse the land. Yea, all the people of the land shall bury them, and it shall be to them a renown the day that I shall be glorified, saith the Lord power. And they shall sever out men of continual employment. The day is who? Israel, us. We will search out men, or sever, meaning separate certain guys, you. This is going to be your job. This is going to be your task. They shall sever out men of continual employment, passing through the land to bury with the passengers those that remain upon the face of the earth. Now, like I said, this is after the nuclear destruction. So the bodies that are left, they have to be buried. And who's going to do them? Our slaves. Now, let's take a look at this word employment here. All right? We're going to take a look at the word employment. This is from the Bouvier Law Dictionary. All right? You see it right here. This is 1856. This is before they changed certain words and thereby blinding the people. That's why it's very important to know your words, you know. Reading on, it says servitude. The state of voluntary or compulsory subjection to a master, the condition of being bound to service, the condition of a slave, slavery, bondage, hence a state of slavish dependence. Now, the point I want to make, because as you read on in the Bouvier, they give you a bunch of words, synonyms that are akin to this word servitude. And you'll see the word employment in there. See, there's a bunch of words synonyms for the word servitude: absolutism, attendance, bond service, bondage, etc., etc. Look down here. You see the word employ or employment, because the word employment means slave. It is right here. Employ, employment, enslavement. So if we go back to our scripture, Ezekiel 39:12, it says, "And they shall sever out men of continual employment," slavery, slave. So our slaves are going to be the ones that's going to be burying these bodies. And it is my belief that it's going to start with those international bankers. That's going to be their, their first job, to bury these bodies. All right? That's going to be their continual employment. All right? Now, let's go to the book of Job 20:17. So that's going to be their first job. Like it says back in Psalms 149, we just read it. It says, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron. For what? For to be severed out for continual employment. This is after nuclear destruction. All right, slavery. Job 20:17. It says, he shall not see the rivers, the floods, the brooks of honey and butter. Now, this is talking about these top banking families. This is a metaphor for their so-called New World Order, which they think that they're going to enjoy. Now, I have this clip that I'm going to play towards the end of the lesson to show you that the Rothschilds, in particular the Rothschilds, they have it in their mind that they're going to enjoy this so-called New World Order. All right, they're about to fully enjoy it, which they've been planning it for what, since the 1700s? They think they're going to fully enjoy it, but the Most High got a different plan for them. Anyway, like it says here, he shall not see the rivers, the floods, the brooks of honey and butter, which, like I said, is a metaphor for this so-called New World Order. That which he labored for shall he restore, and shall not swallow it down. Amount according to his substance shall the restitution be, and he shall not rejoice therein. So all the riches that these international banking families have, all that riches is going to be given unto us. And at the same time, they're going to be going into slavery. All right, that's pursuant to Psalm 149 and the 5th verse. Well, beginning at the 5th verse, which is what we read. Now, I want to show you this little clip here, show you how pompous the Rothschilds are, and how they think they're going to enjoy this so-called New World Order. But like you just read in Job, they will not see that blessing of that so-called New World Order.
We will see. And then we're going to talk, of course, about the economy. The Rothschilds' Road to Ruin is what Tim's presentation is about. Tim, are you there?
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I've been told by the Rothschilds to thank all the listeners worldwide for giving and giving and giving to the bankers who've never been given more money than by the public of America and Europe. Thank you for all your hard work and the work of your children and your children's children, which will all go to the fraternity and the satanic British Illuminati, so that they can live in absolute luxury as you live in slave camps, which is the eventual demise of the middle class of the West. Eventually we'll have to have work camps where you actually work for a bowl of gruel.
Probably the happiest place on the planet will, I would suggest, be the Rothschild holdings in the City of London. They are smiling from ear to ear. This plan of theirs, which has been in the works for hundreds and hundreds of years, codified to a significant degree by Theodore Herzl, has succeeded beyond their wildest dreams. Would you not agree, Tim?
Yeah, they've never made more money. They got the European taxpayer to pay $150 30 billion euros to the British banks, which lent all the money to Ireland, which they then have sold for cash the debt to the European Central Bank, which is owned by the Rothschilds. So, of course, the Rothschilds have basically taken over Ireland as their colony. The British government, which was so short of cash, found 7 billion, which were the cuts they were making this year, which were causing the riots, and gave that to Ireland because, of course, the Rothschilds now own Ireland.
Well, it's
So
their
we now
latest
know
colony. They also own Europe, Israel, the United States, and you could go right on down the list.
We've gone from government governance of the West to Rothschild government of the West via banks, and the population of the West freely giving all their money for themselves and all their future offspring and their offspring's offspring, etc., unto the fourth generation, as the Talmud proclaims.
All right, so yeah, you got a little snippet dealing with the Rothschilds, and now basically they own the whole world. And like I said, they're trying to bring this so-called New World Order. But recorded in the book of Job, it says, he shall not see the rivers, the floods, the brooks of honey and butter. In other words, all the riches which they have stole. That which he labored for shall he restore, and shall not swallow it down, according to his substance. And you heard about all his substance, basically how he owns pretty much the whole world. All right? According to his substance shall the restitution be. So who's the restitution going to be given to? Us, the Israelites. Everything this Rothschild family owns, we're going to own. And he shall not rejoice therein. Why? Because he's going to be in slavery. That's going to be his legacy. All right? Now, I'll end with the book of Mark 10 and 31. It says, but many that are first shall be last. So right now, and justified by the clip you just saw, who is the first? The Rothschilds. So they're going to be what? Last, because they're going to be slaves underneath us. And the last, which is us, because we're slaves underneath them, first. So we're going to be first. So, that should cheer you brothers up. We have a great day ahead of us, man. And that's why it's so beautiful to know this truth. Again, I'd like to give honor and praises and glory to Yahawah, bahashem, Yahawashi for giving us this knowledge and this truth, for waking us up from the dead, and bringing us back to life. So with that, I'll end it there, and I'll say shalom.